getting rejected is not so bad like most people interpret it. Like, I see a lot of young men going to cold approach girls nowadays, or just like going to some authority figure and requesting something and usually not getting what you wanted. But it's not that bad. It just depends on what's your thinking is. And like this idea started rolling inside my head when I was going through a course yesterday, and I've got this like one idea of how you can basically systemize things. Like, for example, you can see things running in their own systems, and basically those like rejections or getting what you want, it just basically acts like data. So like, let me give you an example. Back when I was doing outreach before, like trying to get my services across of other people to not only help them but also make money myself, what usually I was doing is that I would do a few outreaches, like I get rejected a few times, and I would get really upset about it. Now, what paradigm shift I got yesterday is that whenever you get accepted or whenever you get rejected, you shouldn't get emotional about it. And because it's simply data for your system. Like, there's the system as a whole that acts as your like entire hub for whatever you're doing. It could be outreach, it could be like lifting weights, it could be like creating content and seeing how many views you are getting. And if you're getting this negative feedback, as in my case would be a rejection, you're just simply getting data that in the long run shows you like in which part you were doing wrong. So like, for example, if I'm creating those YouTube videos or any content online, I could see that like I have a lot of views. I mean, I don't have a lot of views. And for some people who don't have like this mindset of systematic thinking, those people may think that just because they're not getting a lot of views, they're not worthy of them, and they may give up. They will like get really emotional about it. They would stop. They wouldn't think about the consistency and shit. And it just really prevents them from keeping going, and from iterating, and from doing better in the future, and from achieving anything, because we can achieve anything. However, what this person could see is that like when he's creating his YouTube video and he's seeing that he's not getting any views, he could start thinking in systems. So alright, I gotta get more views, which means that like from the first principles, what are views? Views are usually getting someone to click on my video. Now, what do I want to get someone to click on my video is a thumbnail and a title. And so people could just like create this whole system for like titles and thumbnails, for just getting attention, for just getting people to click on their video. And they could like start one type of titles over and over and over again. And after they get a lot of reps through their system, then they just see that, alright, I put a lot of reps, I've got this data, like this more realistic data, since like it put a lot of reps. From this whole data I can see that something is not working. I'm not still getting a lot of views. Alright, I should change my not subject line, but like change my title a bit. Then if I see like that, alright, it's working, then I shouldn't touch it. But if it's not working, then maybe I should also like change the combination of my title and thumbnails. Or maybe my thumbnails were looking a certain way and I should change them into other ones. Just basically, when you start thinking in systems, you do not have to fear this rejection. You do not have to fear like this negative feedback, because when you're doing the system and you're getting feedback, it's actually a metric. It's a metric you can leverage to just improve your system further along. So yeah, just whenever you face anything in life, whether it's requesting some person to do X, Y, and Z, you're filming a YouTube video, or you're like, I don't know, just doing some fitness thing, like trying to run 10 kilometers if you haven't done it before. What you could think about is like, when you don't achieve what you want, you could break this whole big thing you're doing into smaller steps and systemize it. See which steps you're lacking, see which steps are you like getting rejection on, and just improve it. Because with constant iteration, there comes the improvement, and there you can achieve like much bigger things than you have ever imagined.